What's going on, my Epictastic Nation? Welcome back to the channel. This is Joshua Drake here, if you are returning and a new member here. Welcome to another review of a movie released this year. And this is going to be my thoughts for The Baby in the Basket. This was directed by Nathan Shepka and Doig Thorne and stars Doig Thorne, Marianne Diablo, Nathan Shepka, and there's a lot of other actors in here that are pretty much unknown talents, especially The premise of this movie is that we're following 1944 World War II as the nuns of an isolated Scottish monastery prepares for an incoming storm front. So during the night, a baby in a basket is left on the doorstep and the sisters care to take care of it. But as the evening goes on, Agnes, which is one of the sisters, soon suspects that the child is the son of the devil. This, I just went in blind and without any expectations. The only really thing I knew about this movie is that Doig Thorne, who was the actress who played Alice in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, was in this as a lead character. And so I wanted to give it a fair chance. I have become liking some of her work that I've seen so far. Blood and Honey, like I said, it was not a great movie, but it's kind of a hilarious movie. I can just sit and watch as a guilty pleasure. And I like her in a few things like Intervention. So I wanted to, if nothing else, give this a chance for what it was. And this is not something I would say is a phenomenal movie, but I can simply say that I did enjoy this for what it was. It's a movie that I do think did exactly what it was trying to accomplish what it was trying to do. It's not an amazing film, but like I said, this is a movie I think is pretty decent. I will say it's a decent watch. The thing that does hold this together, of course, is Doig Thorne, which, like I said, I've been liking her in these small little B horror movies that she's done. She started out as a YouTube content creator, but now she's worked her way up. So that's awesome to hear her talk about it in a few podcasts, such as how she started off YouTube, and also now she's doing these smaller movies. So I will say I did enjoy what she was giving for this movie. She's having to put on a Scottish accent, of course, but I think she does a pretty decent job when it comes to this. It is, of course, when it comes to the movie, it does have a film that is going enough. It does have that Nunsploitation and religious horror flick feel, and I don't think this is one of the greatest in either genre. And granted, I have not seen a lot of Nunsploitation movies, but I have seen enough religious horror movies like The Exorcist and such. But I will say, I will give the credit to Doig Thorne's performance, because she's having to do a lot here when it comes to having to play a nun who is pretty much Scottish, which she does the Scottish accent very well, considering that watching a YouTube video of her, she does have some Scottish in her, so that's pretty awesome. And I will say that she did it good in the movie. Now I'll say this when it comes to the end of the movie, there's moments in the finale where she starts scaring the hell out of me, which I was like, this girl is freaking me out, but she's doing a good job in it.
Come on, man, damn!
I will also say some of the other actors in this movie are pretty solid too. Michaela Londell, you have Ella O'Hara, Lisa Reisner, Paul Barber, of course. Even the director does a pretty good job for what is required of him. I do remember Paul Barber being in Formula 51. And Marianne Diablo, it was nice to see one of the best 007 girls in The Living Daylights, which she was awesome in that. Direction, of course, is pretty solid. It's something that is not winning Academy Awards, but I will say the direction is pretty decent for what you get. it does get you in and out here. This is a slow burn, so I will say one of the issues, it does kind of take its time here when it comes to it, but there is some nice moments of atmosphere that does kick in and that does pay off as you're watching the movie. So I would definitely give credit to that in terms of what you're going with. Some of the atmosphere is pretty atmospheric. There is some pretty brutal horror images. It's not full-blown horror craziness until it ramps up in the last half of the movie, but I will say I do think the movie did accomplish what it set out to do, and it gets its point across well. Now it could have went in a stupid route, but for what the limitations of the budget is, which you could definitely see into some of this movie's special effects, because some of the effects in here are not the greatest, but you know what? It's a UK Scottish horror film, B-budget horror movie, and I like a little B-movie, horror movie, or a B-movie now and then. I think there could always be something to offer with those type of movies. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt in some of the special effects and such. The music, of course, not some of the greatest you'll ever see, but I will say the music is decent. It's well shot for a movie of this budget. It's very well shot. There are some interesting shots they play around with. I'll say when you do get the craziness at the end, you get the craziness. So that's something to plus. Like I said, there are issues when it comes to this movie. I don't think that this is something that's going to win awards. I feel like there is some writing that some of these characters that needed a lot more development here. There are some performances here I feel like kind of just ramming it up, but you know what? I give them credit. They're trying, and they're at least having fun making a B movie like this. They're not taking this so dead ass seriously. They're not making art. But I will say, of the actors, there are some here that were just okay, but like I said, easily the best actors in this movie are the director, Marianne Diablo, and Doig Thorne, which of course, obviously, what do you think I'm going to say about Doig Thorne? She's attractive. So what the hell else you want me to say?
Obviously.
Relax, girl. I'm trying.
Excuse me if I like women, and if I like women with accents, along with American women and any type of different women. You can't blame me for that. I think she does do a pretty strong job in this, even though she scared the hell out of me, especially with the voice modulation later on, where she's controlled. So I will say, like I said, some of the pacing is a bit slow, so you can definitely feel that part of the movie. And the final few minutes of this movie, I did enjoy, but I felt like it was a little bit underwhelming in what happens with Doig Thorne's character and the final shot of the film. Those are really my only gripes here. As I said, this is not something I'm gonna say is great cinema. It's not even something I will say that you should rush out and see. But I will say, as a B-budget horror, low-budget, independent horror movie, I did enjoy this for what it was. But is it something I'm going to watch again? Probably not, but for some of the atmospheric direction, for Doig Thorne's performance, and for some of the horrorness here, I will say that I did get my little horror fix here. So, it's not companion. It's definitely not going to go down as the greatest cinematic masterpiece of all time. But I can say that I did enjoy this for what it was. There are some aspects to it that could have been better. But you know what? For a independent B-horror movie, I at least enjoyed my time with it. So I would say you could stream this. It's not something you should watch right away, but if you are a fan of Nunsploitation or B movies, especially B horror movies or religious horror movies, especially when it's B movies, I could say you give it a watch. You probably won't like it, but I would say the best thing to do is give it a fair chance.
Well, that's gonna do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay Epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.